What is going on? Cape Cod Kid, good to be with you on this evening. Shot is looking good. Let me just go ahead and make sure things are what they need to be. We'll get some things in order. Couple things in order. Remove some items. Make sure the shot is right. Like to do first couple minutes, we got to get this. We got to get the shot right. And I got to get myself straightened out. I apologize. But Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King, I'm thrilled to be with you right now. I'm thrilled to be back. Yes, it's late, but it is what it is. It's got to be what it's got to be. And I got a couple things I got to do to get one of my platforms. So we're going to do 2 minutes because this should have been done. I'm slipping, okay? But we ain't completed the show. We need a title. Okay. It's the late night sports. It's the Sand City sports. We saving that. Boop boop. Boop boop. We're gonna go live on the FB. We live on the FB. Let's see what's going on the tube. Let's get the YouTube. Let me view it. We live on the YouTube. What's going on Twitter? Excuse me, I don't acknowledge X. I'm sorry. I can't rock with X. I can't. Yeah. We live on that X. I said I don't acknowledge it, then I acknowledged it. It's ridiculous. Okay, it's ridiculous. And then the stream is live. Okay. What's going on, people? Sand City Sports. Your host, the Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King. We're back again to bring you all the sports and current events, news stories that you need to know. It's been a long time, folks. I shouldn't have left you without the dope beat to step to. That's what I got to say when it's been a minute. But thrilled to be back. It's late night, but it's got to be what it's got to be right now. Okay, it's got to be what it's got to be. Coming at you late. Let me make sure the beard game. Let me bring the beard in. Okay, beard game is doing what it do. You can see the geometry is right. Your geometry is right. Shout out, my barber. Straighten me out. Making sure my geometry is correct. Okay, I appreciate that very much. My good people on Main Street, over at Blake's Barbershop. Appreciate y'all very much. Appreciate it. And it's good to be back. It's we're gonna get into quite a bit in the world of sports. I appreciate you rocking with me for the first couple minutes as we move through the technical difficulties, folks. But we're gonna begin on something of a serious note, and this episode is dedicated to my dear friend Derek Thompson. Great guy, wonderful human being, one of my best friends in the world, and this episode is dedicated to a great man, great friend, and just one of the best people that I've had the privilege of meeting. And we called him D-Tomp. D-Tomp passed away recently. And you know what I mean? This episode and is in his honor is just, I had to begin with just remembering a great individual. And, only way I can put it to the people in terms of, this great man, great friend, great human being, worked for UFC for many years, an integral part of the UFC family. Any UFC people out there, you would have seen the remembrance to Derek. Not this weekend, the weekend before, UFC did a remembrance for Derek. DC, UFC champion, broadcaster, spoke about a D-Tomp, and just kind of that sums it up, folks. Only way that I can describe it for you is, just think of, somebody, that you grew up with or have known in your adulthood who is just liked across the board to the point of, it's actually beloved across the board, right? People like that, all right, and they're few and far between, but they're out there. You know what I'm talking about, okay? Those people, childhood friend or friend in adulthood, and it's just, they have. We talk about it, you know what I mean? And it's just clear as day to everyone that they come into touch with, and they just have a profound impact on you and just the people that they interact with, that they come across in life. And you know what I'm talking about, people. um there's just those rare individuals that, if somebody was to say that they did not rock with them or couldn't get, you would immediately look at that person and you wouldn't even say anything. You would know that there was something in that person that was not correct. You would know, um based on how, they were not able to connect with this individual that, had a heart of gold, had an absolute heart of gold. um and so once again, um my dear friend Derek Thompson, this episode and other things that you'll be seeing me do, um just, you know with him in my heart, and just to remember, and lift up, and acknowledge, someone that was just awesome. So, uh, love you, D Tomp, and you're gonna be a part of, uh, who I am, and as I go forward, um, gonna be a part, most definitely. So, folks, now, moving, to the topics for tonight's episode, and so much, um, that we are going to discuss. We're going to do the quick hitters, and then I'm going to get into some, big picture. We're going to dive into the NBA as the season moves along. Cleveland Cavaliers, okay? I haven't been with you, but, so I can't, but I was, I'm, you know what I mean? I don't know if I anticipated 13-0, but the respect that I have for Kenny Atkinson, you know what I mean? So we're going to talk about the storylines in the East, Cleveland on a high, Milwaukee on a low, talk about what's going on out West. Chef Curry handled business last night. Clay returning to Golden State. We're going to talk about that. Talk about the NFL and the things that's going on. The Chiefs Kingdom, running wild, and the Jetropolitans, dumpster fire. So we're going to talk about the highs and the lows there. But folks, to begin this episode, let me just see. You know what I mean? Let me just check in with people. I know we late, but it is what it is. I appreciate my person on Facebook that's rocking with me. It's late night, but it has to be. This is when I have the time for my passion project. So the passion project is going down. It's going down. You know what I mean? And it's this is, you know what I mean? And we're gonna talk a little bit about slice of life. Because again, we have responsibilities. We have to do the things that we have to do. But if you're not, cultivating those creative energies inside of you, and this is how I get my creative energies out, we know that it affects us. And even though the schedule is what it is right now, and a lot of things, I'm just fortunate and thankful. And again, um, I talked about my dear friend Derek Thompson, my you know, my best friends, D Tomp. One of the things that he said, as well as the example that he set in his life. I told you he worked for UFC. This man crisscrossed the globe, literally, many times over. Been to every single, I don't think he made it to Antarctica, but he's been to every other continent besides that. Bank it. Almost positive he's been to Australia, um, and just spread that. But one of the things that D Tom said that I hold, close, is he said, you got to be your own. You got to be your biggest cheerleader. You got to be your biggest cheerleader. Okay. And that resonated with me in terms of all I was seeing from the outside. in terms of my main man D Tomp was the success, okay, in the Middle East, in Russia, in Brazil. You know, he would have been UFC main event coming up this weekend in Madison Square Garden. You know, D Tomp, he's going to be missed. You know, Jones and Stipik, stick. You know, I don't pronounce. You know what I mean? It's going to be. But he was there for all that over the last decade plus, and you know, he's my homeboy. You know, talk. You know, it was just such a privilege to talk to him on a regular basis. But we'd be in the fantasy chat and we're gonna talk about, and it would just be nothing for him to be like, yeah, I'm in Thailand. I'm in Thailand right now. I'm saying, yeah, I'm in Russia right now. Just like I'm saying, like, yeah, I'm at the corner store or at the local, grew up in the neighborhood. I'm at the local spot, that we all just hang out, get something to eat and chill. You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, I'm halfway across the world doing big things. Um, and point of fact is one of the things he said is because you don't always think about what people have to go through to achieve the success. And one of the things D Tom said to me, or just said in general, that he's like, you got to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be your biggest cheerleader, right? And so hectic schedule, short rest, all of that. But I got up today with some purpose in my mind and my heart. Said I'm going to do an episode. I'm going to get back to my passion. I'm going to do Stand City, and I know the day is going to be a long, but it's going. If I can get up and battle and get through, get into my day. I didn't have the best morning today, honestly. Murphy's Law morning. Throw stuff in the back seat, stuff all on the floor as I'm driving. You know what I mean? It was a Murphy's Law morning, but somehow there was grace because I was able to just make it from step to step to step to step. Mistakes was there. A lot of mistakes I done made today. You know what I mean? I made some mistakes and I got to correct some things, but I made it through it. I made it through it. I made it through it. I had it in my heart all day. You know what I'm saying? That this work that I'm doing, my labor power is not just going for what you want it to go to. My labor power is going to go to what I want it to go to. And that's just having a chance. Sand City Sports. Shout out to your man, Plenty Sneaks. Shout out to my boy, Plenty Sneaks. You see that? You know what I mean? We got merch. We Sand City, you know what I mean? We got merch. Shout out to Plenty Sneaks. I appreciate the design. Shout out to the flag man. Local, you know what I'm saying? My local artist, my local creativity. I appreciate the flag man. In terms of the shirt. If you want a Sand City shirt, holla at me. We got merch. Small but mighty. We got merch. You feel me? And I said, hey, I'm some kind of way. I'm gonna get out here, and I'm here, and I'm here. You got to be your biggest cheerleader. Do right, walk the righteous path, okay, and encourage yourself as you are going along on your journey. Okay, encourage yourself because you can. Hey, we late. It's past midnight. It is what it is, folks. I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. I'm thrilled. We're gonna do about an hour or so. You know what I mean? The rest is gonna be. We'll make the rest up tomorrow. Make them rest up tomorrow. It occurred to me. I said to myself, and we're gonna get to sports. We're gonna get to sports. I said, you know what I'm saying? Because yesterday I wanted to do an episode, but then I thinking about this, thinking about that, thinking about the third, and I did have a lot to do. Frankly, there was a lot of things stacked up that somehow got done. There was a lot of things stacked up, but they somehow got done. And I just occurred to me, no. We coming, we switching it up. Switching it up in terms of, yeah, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna do this, do that. Willis has to get out, go out. My dog, his name is Willis. And then get to the sports. I got that. We're gonna get to the sports. My dog has to go out, but I'm coming to this episode first. And then I'll get to this passion project is gonna be first, and the other things are gonna flow after that. And that's how this night's gonna go. We're gonna be in here for about an hour. It is what it's gonna take me to round one, so what? Not so what, I do have to go to sleep, but you know what I mean. Then I'm gonna do all the other organizing after that, put another, a little bit of time in, get the rest, and be back to it tomorrow. Okay. That's all right. You gotta be your biggest cheerleader. Okay. That's D-Tomp right there for you. Okay. Hold strong, hold firm, and continue on. Walk the righteous path. Do right. Be positive. Okay. But encourage yourself to do and just pump yourself up in terms of the progress. Woo! Over the perfection. Okay. Speaking of what you saw, folks, we got to fight this weekend. And it's been delayed, but Iron Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are going to throw down a showdown for the throwdown on Netflix. Both of them are securing the bag. I'm happy for everybody. Netflix is going to make a bundle. Mike Tyson going to get his. Jake Paul is going to get his, and it's going to be a marquee event. And Jake Paul is looking, he's solid. He's solid. And Mike Tyson is in his 50s, but he's still Iron Mike. Now, I'm happy both people got their money. For my money, Jake Paul gonna get he's getting knocked out. I'm gonna give him to the second round. He getting knocked out. He might not, and it's long overdue for him anyway, because he been bullying folks. He been beating folks down. Former athlete, Jake Paul been knocking some folks out. He been knocking people out. All do it. He been knocking folks out. I got to go back and but he's been fighting people, athletes, and he been handling business. Handling business. I ain't gonna say no name, but somebody got slumped. Somebody that won a dunk contest got slumped. I ain't gonna say no name. I'm not saying it, but it was bananas. I don't know. It was, woo. I might see. I gotta go. I'm talking. That might not even been a Jake Paul knockout. But the point, Jake Paul's been winning and so on and forth. It's two things. It's two. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. The boxers, you don't, like Jake Paul has been fighting like non-traditional opponents, or opponents that are, coming into the MMA space from, you're incredible, you're an athlete and stuff like that, but you don't know the sweet science. You don't know the sweet science. Obviously, Mike Tyson knows the sweet science. I got to give you two asides. There's two YouTube videos that come to my mind, and then I'm going to come back to this. First of all, you might have seen this one, in the post-production, we'll get on this, but it was of an older, like Eastern European boxer that was training that I saw, and this guy had to be in his 60s or 70s. And they just showed him just doing the bop, 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 bop. But when he got going with them hands, this man is 60s, 70s year old. When he got going doing the bop, 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 it was, meaning, if you were to try to mug this 60, 70-year-old man, you just look at him, he's older, so he's got the wisdom, you know what I mean? You move kind of slow, intentional, what did John Wooden say? Be quick, but don't hurry. That be quick, but don't hurry. All right, your senior citizens, they don't look like they're moving fast or doing anything, but they're not wasting no energy. They're not hurrying anywhere. It's going to get done how it needs to get done, and, they just do what they do. Okay, so if you were to run up on this old man, and mug him or not take him lightly, and then seeing him do what bro, he was going to get you. He was going to get you. That's the first video that you may or may not have seen. We'll get it for you in post. Second video, and I think about this, is Manny Pacquiao. I saw a video of Manny Pacquiao in a gym training, and he wasn't sparring with another guy because they weren't even in a ring, but it was an exercise where you could only throw body punches. So they was in the training facility, or in the, like, almost like look like a dojo. I saw this video. They weren't like actually in a ring, but they were in the training facility, and Manny Pacquiao and this other guy, and it was they would just had the gloves on, and they pop pop. And you see people, I'm like, what the heck is going on? I thought somebody like ran up on Manny, but then I'm like, no, this is an exercise. It's an exercise. And the two, the guy was just pop 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 pop. And man, they were just, it almost like they were play fighting, but they were sparring, but you could only throw body punches, as I'm saying again. Folks, check out the video. If Manny Pacquiao body shots. Google that up. I can't, if you can see the video. Point of fact is, man, this man went down. I ain't gonna tell you how, but he went down. He went down messing with Manny. And in watching that, I was just taken aback by, because Manny, and by the way, he would have whooped Floyd if they would have fought in their prime. Whooped Floyd, waited forever and a day to fight Pacquiao, secure the bag, but, if Floyd would have, folks, I'm bouncing around. Say what you got to say if you need me to, I'm bouncing around a little bit. We got folks, we got anybody, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. No. Turn the volume off. Just checking to see if anybody. We in the YouTube space. I can see the viewers from the platform, so I don't know why I had to do this, but I'm doing what I'm doing. I got to get better with my technical difficulties. Okay, folks. The Manny Pacquiao, and I almost, and it's gonna come back to me. Oh yes. So Floyd should have fought Manny long time ago, and waited to the end all be all to the. Okay, so I'm the Cape Cod kid. I'm calling for that. I'm bouncing around, but it has to be this way, folks. Has to be this way on this topic. Coming from the Cape Cod kid. You know what I mean. Proud of my association with the peninsula. Proud to I work in a great city. So I'm Cape Cod kid coming from the Cape. I work in New Bedford. You know, Whaling City is great. Love to be in New Bedford. Great folks in New Bedford. I'm bringing that up because, folks, I saw a video of Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Okay, shout out to Instagram, whatever algorithm they use, because they be putting me on to. Saw a video of Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and we're gonna get back to Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Don't go nowhere, folks. I'm getting back to that. Saw the video of Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who actually trained on the Cape in P Town, the ends of the earth. Marvelous Marvin, right? And showing the video. The man, he would call it putting himself in jail. When he went into his training, man would train for 2 months. 2 months in the awesome 80s. No contact, you know what I mean? Family, I'll see you when I'm done training. Kids, I'll see you when I'm done training. And he alludes to this, and it's like, when he got into his mode for the training, like, I'm training. And that's it. Marvelous Marvin Hagler is from what we call here in the Commonwealth, the City of Champions. That's Brockton, Massachusetts. We call Brockton the City of Champions. You heard me? The City of Champions. Marvelous Marvin Hagler and The Rock, Rocky Marciano. Brockton, Massachusetts. Okay? City of Champions. All right. And so Marvin would come to the Cape, it's about an hour and then he would go it's like 2 hours to get to Provincetown. Because Provincetown is like an hour from the Mid Cape Barnstable. It's out there. It's in the middle of nowhere. So 2 hours, but just to get away from society and be out there on the beach in the cold, just doing the workout, the whole 9 yards. Folks, point of fact with that I'm bringing up is, so with Marvelous Marvin, and this is going somewhere, right? The greatest round of boxing history. What is it? The greatest one round of boxing history. What is it, folks? For those that's out there, you already know what it is. The greatest single round that you can think of in boxing history is Hagler Hearns. That first round, you know that I'm right. You know that I'm right. Boxing people come in, give me some person. I'm not a boxer. That greatest round, Hagler Hearns, that doggone first round. To this day, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that first round. To this day. And the connection to Floyd is, right? That was the day where the best fought the best. Hagler's fighting Hearns. Sugar Ray is fighting Duran. Sugar, you know what I mean? The best fought the best. None of this protecting your perfect record nonsense. And by the way, that's how it goes down in UFC. That's how it goes down in UFC. Boxing now, promoters, nonsense. By the way, Triple G won that first fight against Canelo. I don't care. I said it. Right? It's all this other stuff that's going on. In the day, the best fought the best. All right, and Hagler was able to win that fight in 3 rounds, right? Where is this guy going with this stuff? Because of the superior conditioning, because of the 2 months of lockdown that he subjected himself to while he was the champ, while he had all those ends, while he had the money, the fame, all the rest of that stuff. No. We're not compromising on our regimen. We're not compromising not one bit. Marvelous Marvin, City of Champions, Brockton, Massachusetts. I'm going to the ends of the earth in Provincetown, locking myself at 2 months to get this training. We not cutting no doggone corners. And you see what the results was in one of the greatest fights in boxing history. Greatest round, first round, Hagler Hearns in boxing history. But he was able to win that fight in 3 rounds. You understand? Because of the level that he took himself to. All right, back to Paul versus Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson's in his 50s. It's 2 things as far as I'm concerned. First of all, and I'm not a, you might not told, your boys over here, a lover, not a fighter. Not a lover, not a fighter. I'm not the one to be kind of, with the toe downs, mixing it up. Okay, certain things, obviously, we all will come, but generally speaking, that's not me, so don't get it confused. But what I'm saying with this is, even though I'm older, but not coming from that gladiatorial background, there is something called old man strength, people. There's something called old man strength that exists. And that's what Mike Tyson has. Okay? Check out Herschel Walker on this subject, who went into UFC in his 50s and just destroyed people. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, who knows how you feel about what I'm saying? But let me get my shot back right. Okay, my shot is right. There is something called old man strength. It's a real thing. So I'm giving, hold up. Okay, brothers. Okay. Yeah, what the heck? I'm supposed to have this light on. I'm supposed to have additional light, man. So I got good light, but I got lights over here. You know what I mean? That's much more light. It looks better in here. I mean, I have the lighting is good, but you know what I mean? I mean, what's going on? I had a light. I didn't even use that light, but now the light is on. It's much better. Okay, I haven't forgotten. Old man strength, folks. Old man strength. That's what Mike Tyson has. A. B. The sweet science. I don't care who Jake Paul knocked out, how much he trained, so on and forth. You don't know the sweet science like Mike Tyson knows the sweet science. You don't. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He's getting knocked out in the second round. He's getting knocked out in the second round, period. Because the other thing about Mike Tyson, that's the third thing is, and it's clear, you know what I mean? Like if you're a champion fighter, even if you're older, and yes, you're older, and this could happen, that could happen, a third could happen. It hurts my heart to see, and this is a quick aside, it hurts my heart to this day to see Roy Jones Jr. get knocked out by Tolliver, get knocked to lose that fight to Tolliver. It hurts my doggone heart. I don't even like watching it. I don't like it at all. So, but the point I bring that up because you get older, and you're more susceptible to get knocked out because you're just older. You done been through the wars. So yes, that's a possibility with Mike Tyson. But the reason I'm saying no, even though he is in his 50s, but I'm saying no, is because this, you know, I mean, he you don't understand how hard you have to hit somebody. How hard you have, first of all, to how hard they are going to hit you. That's unknown, right? And this is something, you know, I'm gonna knock somebody out. We all have anger. Anger is a part of life. Your emotions are part of life. That's a part of life. I'll tell you this much. When you comprehend, or if you were ever to spar with like a professional fighter, and they were to like to just, like to go 50% and just hit you, just to understand how like that Zeus-like strength, that lightning that some people have in their hands. They say that, you know what I mean? This is something this is not my statement. I got it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Shout out to, my people. This is something I learned from Dre Lee, who's a football guy, barber, so on and forth. And Dre Lee used to say that, so-and-so got them heavy hands. They got them heavy hands, them heavy ones, them heavy joints. Yeah, if they connect, you going, you understand? If they put them heavy hands on you, all that anger that you got, and I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be gone in an instant. We get angry and talk about we're gonna do this, that, and the third. You're gonna be gone in an instant. Somebody put them heavy hands on you. You can cool out right quick. You're gonna get cool right quickly when somebody. So back to Mike Tyson, it's just undoubted. He got that. It's just in his hands. So that reality, along with the old man's strength, along with the fact that he knows the sweet science, if Jake Paul catches Mike Tyson, he's not going to knock him out. We all know, everybody in the universe knows, if Mike Tyson catches Jake Paul, this whole YouTube stuff is going to end immediately. Jake Paul's just going to have it in his system. He's not going to fight Urkel. He's not fighting, any other fights if Mike Tyson catches him. All this boxing and aggression and alpha male stuff that he has in him is going out of the universe. If and when Mike Tyson catches him with that one good shot. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. That's why we're going to be tuned in. That's why we're tuning in for this joint. because we want to see Mike Tyson catch him that one good time. Okay, and as we conclude this topic, and we talked for, but we had to talk about it. Had to talk about it. It's when Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. That was a pillow match. They wasn't, and you can just go back and watch it. They was given a little bit, but neither one of them was given. You know what I mean? Was in there really going. Right. Speaking of Floyd, when he gamed the system to win those gazillion dollars with that fight with McGregor, can't blame him from taking. You can't blame anybody for taking all that money, but that was some foolishness. It's just a completely two completely different two completely different things. If Floyd was to go into the UFC, you know what time it is, but the UFC came out to Floyd, so you know what time it is. Same thing, with Ngannou, he battled with Fury, and that was a battle. But then Anthony Joshua, right? Apples and oranges. Okay, and Jake Paul is an orange in an apple picking season. He's in trouble. Everybody get your money. Jake Paul, don't get hurt. All right, folks. The other individual story that has to be touched on, which is just crazy, is Hansel, who's playing Division I basketball and making plays. This is another, this is an outlier in and of itself. How can you play Division I basketball with one arm and make plays? Check your highlights. Check your Twitch. Excuse me, your Twitter. I don't acknowledge X. Just like I don't acknowledge the Mario Cuomo Bridge. That's the Tappan Zee Bridge for the New Yorkers, New Jersey, people from the tri-state area. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. My people from the tri-state, New Jersey, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. I don't acknowledge, it's the TZ Bridge. Okay? That's, I forgot how I got in that point. I'm going to come back to it. Okay? Hansel. Right? One arm playing Division I. Oh, yeah. Okay. Again, I know how I got on the Mario Cuomo Bridge because I was talking about how I don't acknowledge X. It's called Twitter. I don't know if Elon Musk really cares. We're not gonna get too political, but oh my goodness, Elon Musk, one of the world's richest people. He's coming to. He's coming to America. He don't want to just give money to the campaign. This man Elon Musk want to be a part of the government. We ain't gonna get political, but doggone it, there's changes coming in this country. That's woo. That's all. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Leave it at that. Leave it at that. But yeah, I don't acknowledge X. It's Twitter. Check out Twitter, folks, for these Hansel highlights. It's unreal. Flat out, without a doubt, unreal. How Hansel is balling with one arm, playing Division I basketball. And this is not this is the season just started. You might have watched the games last night. It was crazy. It was a great thing. Love that tournament, or whatever they call All-State, whoever is responsible. Kansas and Michigan State. Oh yeah. Duke and Kentucky. Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't see the fullness of the Duke Kentucky game. I wanted to see. Obviously, Cooper Flag is all the rage. Cooper Flag is all the rage. And AJ DeBanza, speaking of Brockton, speaking of the City of Champions, you know who AJ DeBanza is. That's Brockton, born and bred. Okay, so Cooper Flag looking like the number one pick in the 25 draft. AJ DeBanza looked like the number one pick in the 26th draft. Okay. So yeah, college basketball. How did that relate to Hansel? Nobody. This is the beginning of the season. No freebies. No, no. Everybody is scratching and clawing to get out of those gates to make this a successful season. And Hansel's out there in this fierce competition, balling, dunking, putbacks. What? Incredible. Beyond feel good. This is just right. We all have our go through. We all have our challenges. We all have those things. It is what it is. But when you see Hansel, that's just a light that just shines down to show what is actually humanly possible. What is actually, it's just unreal. And so, woo, looking forward to seeing him as the season goes on and how his career progresses and this correct, I was going to say brave, but it's just a correct new world that we live in where the players can get paid, where their labor power is respected. Okay. They are viewed as partners. College coaches want to cry about the good old days when they was making money hand over fist and the players was getting chi-chi beans. Enough of that. Now, right, college coaches signing these contracts with public universities, publicly funded universities. Yes, we know the millions and millions of dollars that sports brings in, but the contracts the coaches are signing is absolutely bananas. 5, 6, 7 years, fully guaranteed to a public university. Now, yes, there's money coming in, but fully guaranteed. You kidding me? But you want to thumb your nose up because now the players can look at you. Now the players looking at the coaches like, yo, where's my money at? You know? And yes, there is a part of that where you lose. We're losing great coaches. Okay, Jay Wright at Villanova, Tony Bennett at Virginia, right? We're losing great coaches. Coach K decided to call it a career. This is, a couple years back, but this landscape, it may not be the best thing that players can just up and leave and not have to compete and battle, so on and forth. That may not be the best thing for them overall. But I'm also encouraged where now they can come to the table and have, as much or, leverage. And it's not just the coaches who rule everything, and all the complaining and whatnot is a little bit off-putting because coaches had it their way 100% for so long. Highest paid employees, everybody's afraid of you, and all this stuff. And that was their own little racket. Now the players can benefit, and you have to view them as partners, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I'm glad that I'm thrilled that Hansel is getting his bread. Okay, folks, let's go over to the NBA. All right. This is one of the things where I'm a little bit upset that I've been quote unquote busy, even though life does get busy. But I noted I'm not surprised at all by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and frankly, I wish I had to just focus more and been on this wave because tired, but we not going nowhere, folks, at all. I wish I had been on this wave because attitude reflects leadership. Kenny Atkinson is a solid top-notch coach. A lot of people aren't familiar because when he was doing what he was doing, building the Brooklyn Nets back up, reestablishing that culture, right? Getting them on the road. He's a great player. He's known as a great player development guy, great player development coach, which is why he's been getting head coach money for the last 4 or 5 years while being an assistant coach. All right, so we built the Nets up, then the Nets went for broke and brought in the superstars, and we saw how that was going. The writing was on the wall from day one. When you bring in superstars, but then the superstars because they're superstars have to pick their own coach. How'd that work out? Superstars because they're superstars have to pick their own coach. How's that going in Milwaukee right now? We're gonna get there. And how did that work out in Brooklyn? You already know. Okay, ran Kenny Atkinson up out of there. He goes to the Clippers, is the lead assistant for Ty Lue. He went to the Clippers first after going, being ousted unrightfully. Unrightfully is not even a word. Unceremoniously from Brooklyn. Then he goes from the Clippers to Golden State. Was about to bounce from Golden State and take over as the head coach of the Hornets. Golden State said, no, you're too valuable. Come on back. And now he's taking his talents to Cleveland. And yeah. Okay. But he had the right stuff way back when in Brooklyn. All right, and now people are seeing it and putting respect on his name, and the Celtics and everybody else is waking up to the reality. My New York Knicks included. That yeah, yeah, the East is different, much different, because Cleveland's had the talent. The Knicks have been smacking them around in the first round last 2 years at least, but talent wise, Cleveland has been better than the Knicks the last 2 years. They've been better. Talk about the Twin Towers with Allen and Mobley. You kidding me? Old school Twin Towers, just to dominate the paint. Mobley, top prospect, top 3 pick, was panning out. Team first. Jared Allen, rebound, eat glass, control. You got Garland, and you got Mitchell, and you got others, Karis LeVert, so on and forth. So they have talent. And now they have structure, motivation, inspiration, strategy. Yeah. Yeah. So my New York Knicks, it's taking more time, and we see that it can work overnight based on what Cleveland's doing. All right, Knicks game under 500, ridiculous. Orlando Magic on the come up. Indiana Pacers in the mix. Chicago Bulls, you never know what you're going to get. Atlanta Hawks in the mix. Miami, is going to be there. And I'm thrilled to see Detroit under the leadership, right? Bernie Bickerstaff comes from. Bernie Bickerstaff, let me just make sure I get that right. Comes from. No. I got it absolutely wrong. Glad I checked this. Absolutely doggone wrong. Who the heck? It's not. I gotta look this up now, folks. It's making me angry. Bernie Bickerstaff. JB. Okay. I don't feel as bad. I do not feel as bad. JB Bickerstaff, head coach of the Detroit Pistons, and turning them around. Detroit, stupid money at the table. Monty Williams did not want to coach. Throw a whole bunch of money at him to coach, and he just, his heart wasn't in it. He told you he didn't want to coach to start with. He thought the money could make up for that, how he was feeling in his heart, and we're just absolutely wrong. But now Detroit has the coach to kind of get through. And so just look at that, folks. The East, yeah, obviously the Celtics are the prohibitive favorite. Cleveland has not changed that based on this white hot start, 13-0. But they made a statement, right? Celtics, not last year, the year before, allowed themselves to go down 0-3 against the Miami Heat, a team without Tyler Hero. Ridiculous. Win 3 straight games to force a game 7, and then get the brakes beat off of you in game 7. Absolutely embarrassing. Okay, where am I going with that point? Well, Joe Mazzulla wasn't prepared to be the head coach. Right? Remember that? Joe Mazzulla was the 4th, arguably, on the depth chart the year before to be head coach when the Celtics went to the finals. Because you had M.A., Houston, you had Will Hardy, Utah, you had Damon Stoudemire, Georgia Tech, and then you had Joe Mazzulla. And now we've thrust into the big chair, based on a convergence of circumstances. So that Joe Mazzulla going toe-to-toe with Eric Spoelstra, we saw what happened. And what did Brad Stevens do? Went out and got the lead assistant for the Milwaukee Bucks and Coach Bud, Charles Lee. Went out and got top Doc Rivers assistant, Sam Cassell. Brought in Emil Jefferson. He's on the bench at Duke, behind John Shire and previously Mike Krzyzewski. And a move that is super duper slept on, okay? Brought in Jeff Van Gundy as a special consultant. All right? The love and respect that I have for Tom Thibodeau, my favorite coach. Reason I root for the Knicks. Also, it's a beautiful thing because I was born in the tri-state area, and I was rooting for the Knicks in the early 90s with Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls. did that craziness that they did. So the Celtics had a brain trust that was off the charts, folks. And that, along with Brad Stevens GMing, bringing Drew Holiday in, amongst others, led to the Celtics' domination last year and them being a dynastic team right now in the NBA. The Celtics, okay, are the Celtics. Cleveland is making it clear that they are players in this conversation to vie and challenge. Celtics are the favorites, but Cleveland is not going anywhere. My New York Knicks ironing out the kinks, right? Kind of a feast of famine situation. Jalen Brunson could do what he did last year because it was Brunson against the world, almost like Allen Iverson with the 2001 Philadelphia 76ers. Iverson could just dominate the defense. Excuse me. Dominate offensively, and then just you had a bunch of worker bees. Aaron McKee, Eric Snow, Theo Ratliff, so on and forth. Matt Geiger. Shout out to that 0-1 team. Speaking of which, I get these flashbacks. I don't know if you remind, the 0-1 76ers. I'm reminded, and it's a little bit of a personal confession. I'm reminded of, because I don't know if you tell, bit of a night owl here. I don't know if you can tell, but I remember when I was in college, and we had the video games, and I'm up late, we had the cool room and all the rest of that stuff going in. It was cool. It was overlooking the Hudson River, and it was out of this world. But I remember being that guy that played video games kind of late at night when people are trying to sleep. And I look back now, and I'm like, I kind of like broke the cone of silence a bit. But man, just a 0-1 76ers kind of reminds me of Dreamcast. If I'm dating myself, but Dreamcast being that awesome platform, and Allen Iverson was on the cover of. So I'm not upset about this remembrance to the college days and to playing Dreamcast and to playing 2K late into the night and possibly waking up your roommate, but possibly not. He could, I mean, it is what it is. You got to play Dreamcast. You got to play Dreamcast. That's how, you know what I mean? There's nothing to be ashamed of in that capacity. But yeah, the first 2K, and now we're 2K24, but the first 2K was Philadelphia 76ers. Allen, it was 2K1. 2K1, which came out, I think that came out, because it was out in like 99. It's out in 99, but they called it 2K. The 99 2000 year, the 99 2000 year. There might have just been NBA 2K. Might have been NBA 2K, but I remember Iverson was on the cover. NBA 2K for the Dreamcast. Could play all four people at once. Revolutionary. So yeah, back to my Knicks. Okay? And we got some stuff to get to. We move about 50-minute mark. We got to get to the NBA, NFL. We're gonna make it do what it do, folks. But my New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson against the world last year, particularly with Julius Randle out. Now you got, Karl Anthony Towns. You got Mikal Bridges. You got OG. You got the last OG, You got three other guys in the lineup that need touches. And so the offense, they're kind of trying to find that offensive balance and make sure that everybody gets, the touches that they need. While at the same time, and I'm loving how Tibbs has this offense flowing around Karl Anthony Towns, and you're seeing, that number one overall pick cat shooting the threes, which he shoots at a good clip, but then also getting him down to the post to do his Kevin McHale thing and work folks out. So the Knicks just have to, and we know the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau, their pace is low. They play at a slower pace. But at the same time, they gotta do what they have to do. Okay, folks. So yeah, it's late. But again, we get it. We get, this is the time that we have. This is the time that we have. So, ain't no shame in the game, folks. Ain't no shame in the game in terms of, hey, you know what I mean? And if you're checking in, I appreciate you checking in with the episode. A couple people here, a couple people there. I love to see it. Because hey, everybody doesn't go to bed at a certain time. Sometimes you're up late, you scroll and you see, hey, holla at your boy, catch up with me. And we have quite a bit. I'm gonna blast through and go close to the one, if not to it, because we have a lot to get through and two. So I've given you the East. I've given you the East, and yes, talked about Cleveland, talked about Boston. My Knicks, they're getting right. Orlando Magic, Jamal Mosley, right? Jamal Mosley is yes indeed. Let me just indeed get my names right for the Orlando Magic. Is doing what he's doing. That's not really saying anything. Point of fact is they've drafted well and they've kept the players that they've drafted. And what I respect about the Orlando Magic is they literally go 10 deep. You got Jalen Suggs, you got Cole Anthony, you got the Wagner, I hope I pronounced that right, brothers, or folks, if they're not related. Obviously, Paolo is the super. He's not a superstar. He's a star, player. Got that pick right. NBA All Star, and deservedly so. And so, they play a complete game. They're gonna battle. They're gonna wear you down. Um, and so yes, they deserve to be the number 3 overall seed. We know what the time it is with Indiana. They weren't healthy when they made their run last year. Benedict Mathurin lit my New York Knicks up 38 points, 7 of 8 3-point shooting. Um, Atlanta Hawks, Quinn Snyder knows his business. He's a good coach. They got top draft picks who happen to be on my fantasy team that are balling out. Brooklyn, certainly a surprise for me and others, but a culture, believing, so on and forth. Miami, they're gonna be in it. We talked about Detroit. All right, the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm gonna go over the Western Conference. The Milwaukee Bucks. Stretch out quickly, folks. Look, this is on Giannis. It's on Giannis, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay, they got knocked out by the Heat when they should have, when the Heat made the championship run. They've had a couple clunkers during the Giannis years. All right, people forget because they won the championship. They ended up going out and getting Drew Holiday because of the clunkers that they had. Folks, as we near the conclusion of the episode, but we're going to finish strong, powerful. That's right, powerful. Okay, so the Milwaukee Bucks given the keys to Giannis because he was feeling impatient because after winning the championship, they had some setbacks, but you know what I mean? What do they say? The grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. Is that what they say? In terms of the fact, Coach Bud, you know, yes, they shouldn't have lost to Miami as an 8 seed. That was embarrassing. But Coach Bud is a solid head coach. He's a above. He's not even above. He's an NBA champion head coach. And you're not going to find him everywhere. And he's in the process of turning around the Phoenix Suns. And so Giannis kind of getting impatient. Not only did he get rid of the leadership in Coach Bud, but he really got rid of the leadership in Drew Holiday. Because he's like, it's about stars, and I want to play with Dame, and that's what I need to stay here. Okay, yes, on paper, even though they had to give up, assets and draft capital to get Dame, on paper, the Milwaukee Bucks work. In practice, because Dame, who wanted to be in Miami, now he's in the frozen north. We know that Dame, he's just a, mercurial guy. He likes things got to be a certain way, and he's loyal to the soil, and he stayed in Portland longer than he probably should have. But to just plop him down in the frozen north in a situation that he did not specifically sign off on, just was not a good. I don't, you just see the results. And now, again, back to the person that put all these wheels in motion. Now it's not working out. Get rid of Adrian Griffin, bring in Doc Rivers just because you need a stabilizing force, what Dr. Rivers certainly is. Is he an NBA championship coach? Absolutely not. And it is what it is. You're at where you're at. But for Giannis to do all this and then talk about, now it's not working out, so I'm going to say I want out and you trade me because, well, the reason these decisions were made is because you said, if you don't, I'm going to demand a trade. So the Milwaukee Bucks did what you asked them to do, which led to the dumpster fire, and now you say I want to trade, which you let this be a lesson, organizations. Let it be a lesson. You got to talk those superstar players down off the ledge. You got to talk them down off the ledge. And that's a much better opportunity for you as an organization. As an organization to keep a transcendent player rather than just caving, do what they want you to do, and then it's going to be a disaster, and they're going to leave anyway. It's going to be a disaster, and they're going to leave anyway. So Milwaukee Bucks, cautionary tale. All right, and you did two things that were just stupid. I'm sorry. Getting rid of Coach Bud, who is top 10 coach, and getting rid of Jrue Holiday, who's Jrue Holiday is top 5 in terms of winning. Top 5. I said it. Top 5 in terms of players that just win. Top 5 in the current NBA. Jrue Holiday. Winners. He is a winner. As a teammate, in the locker room, his temperament, his unselfishness, and then just his core skill. Okay? That's my issue when people want to compare Bronny James to Jrue Holiday and he's going to be like, first of all, talent-wise, Jrue Holiday is no slouch just because he's not a volume shooter, just because he doesn't poke his lip out and go to social media and complain about the world and just be overall selfish and hold teams hostage and complain and say, I'm not going to play, because my pinky toe hurts. Just because Jrue Holiday doesn't involve himself in all of the other failings of superstars, particularly in the NBA, does not mean that he is not a superstar. And he's not a superstar in terms of explosiveness, and he's a superstar in terms of just being a winner. He wins everywhere he goes. Milwaukee, Team USA, college, he's a winner. And then back to Bronny James, my issue, Jrue Holiday is 6'5", like 225. He's not 6'2", 6'3", like Steph Curry. He's 6'5", 6'6". He's a big dude. He has more, he's bigger. There's a huge difference, a big difference between being 6'2", 6'3", and 6'5", 6'6", as we know. Right, so the Bronny James, Jrue Holiday comparisons are preposterous. And by the way, I'm glad that Bronny got his first NBA bucket in Cleveland. Respect is in the G League now, competing, grinding. This is right. The right process. I thought that they were rushing him along too fast. No, he comes up for certain events. You know what I mean, to be there, the hoopla, and then let him go to the G League and develop. But Bronny James is 6'1". And change, maybe. Jrue Holiday is 6'5". Okay, just he's a big. Again, I this Celtics backcourt, I compare it to Dennis Johnson and Danny Ainge and of the Celtics heyday. Right, the moves, Brad Stevens, executive of the next 5 years. Going out and getting Derek White to put them in a position to make the NBA Finals 3 years ago, huge. So they have a pass first point guard, huge. And now you add another pass first point guard that can score and get buckets and defend, and is just a cool dude, unselfish. Dynasty. Plain and simple. Let's take a look at the West. Okay, no surprise. Okay, but almost at a loss for words, which can't, you know what I mean? In the West, the top of the West, shout out to Memphis. I'm glad to see Memphis back in the hunt at 7-4. The Houston Rockets drafting well, then having the true leadership. Denver not going anywhere. Golden State, a bit surprising to me, but hey, and we just talk. We've been talking about Coach Bud. We've been talking about Coach Bud. Hurt my heart, and not just because I've been an awful fantasy GM, terrible, preposterous. Kevin Durant was my number 1 overall pick. I got it right. He's been on the bench. I haven't been GM in the way I supposed to, particularly last year. I missed 3 Kevin Durant games last week. This guy's getting somewhat, but no, we still going strong. There ain't no fatigue that we need to even think about, my friend. No fatigue at all. We making it do what it do. We're making it do what it do. We're gonna get the rest as we need to get the rest. But this is the time that we have for the episodes. This is when the episode goes down, folks. When it goes down, we just been talking about Coach Bud, Phoenix Suns, second in the West, 9-2. All right. So we see Oklahoma City on the championship track. They were close last year. They did the experience. They got the experience. Championship track. Sam Presti, absolute genius. Okay, because they have a champ. You know what I mean? Bringing in iHeart, who's gonna go out there, eat glass, Tom Thibodeau way. They needed help up front. They got help up front. SGA Prime. Chet just sat that first year out. Okay, get stronger, leaner. Okay, you don't have to be bulky. The NBA's, these guys, they have the cross-country frames rather than the linebacker frames. And that's proven, right? You don't have great physical strength, muscle on muscle. You have great functional strength. So Chet took the year off. He has that. He's balling. Right? And then they have like 1 million draft picks. 1 million. And the number 1 seed. Okay, Sam Presti, genius. Can't allude to it enough, folks. Kenny Atkinson, Sam Presti. Sam Presti's a GM. He's not a coach, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. Glad to see MA and Houston balling, getting where they need to be. Lakers are where you expect them, playing on 3. Timberwolves getting adjusted. I'm a little bit surprised at the Sacramento Kings. Clippers are who they thought they were. Loving that San Antonio's 500. Mavs 5-6. They'll hit their stride. Portland trying to figure it out. New Orleans certainly trying to figure it out. Utah's been tanking for too long, and I have no idea what they're doing there. I have no idea what the heck is going on in Utah. Danny Ainge, get a grip on yourself, man. Get a grip on yourself. You got rid of a really good coach in Quinn Snyder. You brought in your guy, Will Hardy, who is a solid coach. But this is like year 3 of Will Hardy. Year 2, 3, and you guys are still at the bottom of the freaking conference. You should be more competitive. Utah, that's not a team that I look at, especially the leadership of Jerry Sloan over all those years. I don't look at the Jazz as being tankers, even if they might be tanking for the Cooper Flag, which is bananas. Speaking of which, Cooper Flag, who's from Maine, by the way, but sending him to Utah. Young but not tired. Sending Cooper Flag to Utah, maybe that's what is trying to be done here. I don't know. Jazz should be better than they are. Makes no sense getting Cooper Flag, but then having to get rid of Laurie Marketing. All right? Step the game up, folks. Step it up. No. Let me just see. So yes. Okay, San Antonio starting to put the pieces together, get themselves in the playoff hunt. Chris Paul, great addition for them. Sacramento Kings should be better. Flat should be better with DeMar DeRozan. I'm seeing growing pains there. You have De'Aaron, you have Sabonis, so it was like 1 and 2, but now you got to find a way to incorporate DeRozan. You got Malik Monk, you got Huter. So they got scoring guards plenty. Mike Brown's going to get them right, and they will be in the mix. Okay, folks, where I'm not going to dive, right, because we're getting close. I'm not going to dive into the NFL on this episode, but I'm going to be back with you. I'm going to be back with you in the near future, the Sand City Sports, and again, coming back to the passion, to coming back to this the slice of life stuff. But this is what it is, you right? We have to, you know, we got to break through that rock of inertia. We got to push and get and acknowledge, right? We got to be our own biggest cheerleader when it comes to doing what it is that we do and that we have a passion for. You understand what I'm saying? We got to do what we do. Speaking of which, I'm noticing it's not supposed to be there. A lot of things are not supposed to be in the background. Actually, kind of rushed. I rushed a bit. And hey, anyway, it worked out. We'll get the shot right for the next time. We'll get the shot right, get the episode moving and grooving. But the most important thing is that there was an episode. And Sand City Sports is here for you. And that's right. We're going to talk sports. We're going to talk culture. We're going to talk slice of life. It is what it is. And so thrilled to be back with you. And you're going to be seeing me in the near future, continuing to do this. We're going to do the things we have to do. We're going to do the things we have to do. But at the same time, we're not going to allow for the things that we need to do, which is that creativity and that passion, and then that we're not going to let those things fall by the wayside under no stretch of the imagination, today, tomorrow, or ever. Well, I don't know, right? So that's the, thrilled to be with you. Okay, Derek Thompson, D-Top, the man. Okay, the man. 1,000 grand. Okay, to those that had the privilege, the honor of being his friend and knowing him through the years, right? D-Tomp forever. And it's incredibly just sad, challenging. Personally, I have, you go through certain things, you know what I mean? And you just, it's not going to hit me for a time. It's not going to hit me for a time. And, things, gatherings, and just kind of, but what will always resonate, again, when you meet these folks with the heart of gold, is those times, those experiences, and that encouragement to just, hang in there and make that way. And just hang in there, and it's going to happen. Okay, you got to be your biggest cheerleader. Okay, you do right, be positive. All right, and you're gonna get there. Might not be like the Cleveland Cavaliers, but hey, you look at how Kenny Atkinson had to grind, folks. You look at how right. What's that luck? What does luck mean, folks? What's luck? What's luck? Right. It's when the preparation meets the opportunity. Kenny Atkinson, man's prepared. All right, and Cleveland's a force to be reckoned with. It's a beautiful thing. That city deserves it at long last. Okay, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your host, the Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King, and we will see you same time, same bat channel the next time. Peace. Yes, sir.